Greetings, YouTube. Joe here with Culination Media, and welcome back to the finale of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, episode number 64. In the last episode, we finished off escaping the castle, and we heard a sound, and it's time for the final battle of the game. And Ganondorf, obviously, is still alive here. He's not going to go away that easily. And if you thought the battle with Ganondorf himself was kind of lame, you're not alone. He has emerged from the rubble of the castle, and he's turning into the beast that is Ganon. And this is going to be our final challenge, and this is one of the coolest boss fights ever. With his long swords, he's going to knock away our Master Sword, which means we are left to fight without it. Thankfully, we have the Bigoron sword, and we also have Navi for this fight. There's no way he's going to hold me back again. This time, we fight together. Let's do this. Obviously, we're at a slight disadvantage, and by slight, I mean we're at a big disadvantage. Navi has no idea what his weak point is, but I do, thankfully. There's a lot of things, surprisingly, considering he's the last boss of the game, there's a lot of things that you can use to stun Ganon in order to get a hack at his tail, which is what you need to do. His tail is the weak point, so you can actually stun him with Dooku Nuts, and that's probably one of the most effective ways to stun him. And then you can actually damage him by throwing Dooku Nuts and hitting his tail. And once you do get behind him, you can target his tail and throw the Dooku Nuts right at it. So that makes things a little bit easier. I do recommend getting the Dooku Nut upgrades if you possibly can, because obviously that's going to help you out in this battle. It's not the only way to do it, but it is an effective way, and it's a good backup plan because obviously the most effective way to stun the beast that is Ganon is the light arrows, but you only have a limited amount of magic and arrows, and especially when it comes to magic, you're going to run out pretty quickly. Especially, this is especially true if you did not bring with you blue or green potions in order to restore your magic. There are pillars around this arena of parts of the tower that are still left standing. If you lure him into attacking these pillars, he will destroy them, and it will reveal things such as arrows and magic for you, but eventually those things are going to run out. Now that we've stunned him, the fire around the arena has subsided briefly, and that doesn't last forever. We need to make our way over to where Zelda is to grab our Master Sword, which will then automatically equip itself, which is handy. And we do need to go through this process again before we can defeat him. And if you are fast enough, you can hit his tail before he gets up and attacks you again, like that. Then we can go back to the same methods that we used before, and using the Dooku Nuts and the light arrows in order to stun him. And actually, you don't even need to stun him. You can go right through his legs or around the side of him. If you move fast enough, you can hit him without worrying about stunning him. So if you do run out of arrows or magic and Dooku Nuts, and you feel like you don't have any way to finish this battle, you're in the clear. You do not need any of those things. It just makes it a little bit easier on you. The biggest problem here is Ganon's reach. I mean, obviously he's huge, and he's got crazy long arms, and those swords are extremely long as well, so it's very difficult to get out of the way when he starts taking swings at you. And the fact is, you're just not fast enough, even though you are small. And I got lucky I didn't get hit right there. Anyway, we need to go through this whole process again and stun him yet again. And I think we're actually getting close because I've gotten a decent amount of hits in there. You can also use Nehru's Love if you so wish, but the problem with that becomes that you cannot use light arrows during that time period. So Blue Potion is really cool because what that does is it will restore your magic all the way and your health as well. And you can buy that for 100 rupees in Kakariko Village. And I'm going to show you how you can lure him into attacking the pillars. It's kind of strange, had a little bit of a frame drop there. But yeah, you get a bunch of arrows back. You can get magic, bombs, all kinds of stuff. The bombs don't really do a whole lot for you in this battle, so I would avoid using them at all costs. And I believe you can use Din's Fire to damage his tail, but that's going to take a good deal of magic as well, so... Ah, crap. Shut up, Zelda! Stop screaming. You're making him more angry. I'm gonna drink this blue potion now because I'm getting kind of close to dying, actually. Alright, so, fully restored now. And now I'll put up Nehru's Love. You do not need to use light arrows, obviously, to stun him, so, while that is up, Nehru's Love, that is, you can always use Dooku Nuts to stun him. So, that's probably what I'm going to end up doing here. Let's go with the Dooku Nuts. It doesn't stun him quite as well as the light arrows do. He isn't stunned for as long amount of time, but it's enough to get around him if you move quickly. You can also roll through his legs like that, and you get pretty decent shots at his tail that way. Oh, Zelda needs to stop screaming. Okay, a couple more hits here. I'm gonna run out of Dooku Nuts too. I'm down to about 11 right now. But yeah, this fight is pretty amazing. I think this is one of the best, if not the best, final boss fights in video game history. It's pretty amazing. Darn it. How did I miss that? See how much damage that does, even with the defense upgrade? Yeah, he can kill you in probably about 2 hits. Or 3 hits, maybe. If you do not have the as many hearts as I do, or if you do not have the defense upgrade from the Great Fairy. So do be careful, do bring fairies into this battle, and hopefully you didn't use them up in the battle with Ganondorf, because this is definitely the harder of the 2 battles. Now with him stunned, Zelda is going to further stun him with her light powers. I'm using my power to hold the evil king. You use your sword and deliver the final blow. So all you need to do is walk up to his face before he becomes not stunned anymore, and your Master Sword is going to glow, signaling that this is pretty much the end of the fight here. And you're just going to slash the crap out of him, and then right between the eyes goes the Master Sword. And ouch, that's gotta hurt. There was green blood kind of going all over the place there for a minute, and now he's freaking out, flailing all over the place in agonizing pain. Zelda is now going to call the 6 sages, and the process is going to begin of sealing him within the sacred realm again. Ancient creators of Hyrule, you go, Roru. Now open the sealed door and send the evil incarnation of darkness into the void of the evil realm. I didn't know there was a such thing as the evil realm, but it sounds pretty awesome. And there are these 6 sages ready to go, getting ready to activate their power, and they are going to seal away the evil Ganondorf within this sacred realm. That is just awesome. I mean, for 1998, this is amazing graphics, I have to say. I imagine this is Ganondorf speaking to us now. In defeat. Curse you! Zelda! Curse you! Sages! Yeah, you're pissed. Curse you, Cullination! Someday, when the seal is broken, someday, that is when I will exterminate your descendants. That is an evil thing to say, even for the evil king. And into the light he goes. But of course, we have not seen the end of Ganondorf. As long as the Triforce of Power is in my hand. We should have taken the Triforce from him. That was our first mistake. Well, no, our first mistake was letting him get the Triforce of Power in the first place. The second was letting him keep it. But for now, Ganondorf and Ganon are defeated. Alright, now we have this serene scene, which looks like almost like we're in the sky here, and we're having an interaction with Zelda. Thank you, Cullination. Oh, you are just so welcome. Thanks to you, Ganondorf has been sealed inside the evil realm. Thus, peace will once again reign in this world for a time. Yes, for some time. All the tragedy that has befallen Hyrule was my doing. Well, I can't argue with you there, Zelda. have to say. I was so young, I could not comprehend the consequences of trying to control the sacred realm. Yeah, I understand. Young and naive, right? I dragged you into it, too. Now it is time for me to make up for my mistakes. You must lay the Master Sword to rest and close the door of time. However, by doing this, the road between times will be closed. Oh, so I guess we will have to return to our original time and we will no longer be able to be an adult. Cullination, give the ocarina to me. You're taking your ocarina back. It's mine, bitch. Get away. As a sage, I can return you to your original time with it. Okay, I guess that's alright. But I'm a pretty badass adult. Just saying. I have to give up all my adult weapons and everything. Well, at least you look upset about it. When peace returns to Hyrule, it will be time for us to say goodbye. Well, that is very sad. But, well worth it. We've done our part to save Hyrule. Now go home, Cullination. Regain your lost time. Home, where you are supposed to be. The way you are supposed to be. And now she's going to play a song on the ocarina. A song that we've heard before, but one that we don't necessarily know. And some blue light is going to take us away, pretty much. Goodbye, Zelda. And Zelda will not appear in another game until I guess in this lineage. I'm assuming it's the Wind Waker? Not entirely sure about that. But, anywho, Zelda does not appear in the sequel to Ocarina of Time. That is Majora's Mask. Neither does Ganondorf. But anyway, we've made it to the credits. And this will just go through the various settings of the game. Most of them will be empty. Then they'll show a little celebration with a lot of the characters that we've seen. And all that good stuff. Because peace has been restored to Hyrule and all that good stuff. So ends one of my favorite games of all time. And perhaps one of the greatest, well, not perhaps, it is one of the greatest game creations of all time, for sure. It pretty much makes everyone's lists. Even people that don't really enjoy Legend of Zelda games particularly. And even people who have not been able to beat the game know that it's incredible. I don't even know how many times I've beaten this game, but I can't tell you that, but I do know that I enjoy it just as much every time, and it's been a lot of fun playing through this game over the course of the last 64 episodes, and I definitely will be considering doing Majora's Mask. I really think, in the grand scheme of things, Majora's Mask was a disappointment when compared to the Ocarina of Time. But I think that it was a great game. It's just that living up to the standards that the Ocarina of Time set in 1998 was just nearly impossible. So anything less than what the Ocarina brought to the table was going to be a little bit of a disappointment. And that's kind of where Majora's Mask fell. With that, they did have some awesome improvements, and especially ones that I really enjoyed, like being able to use the elemental arrows a little bit sooner than what you could in Ocarina of Time, and they had more practical uses, which I thought was awesome. And you could also use different masks to transform into different things. The downside was, well, there was only 4 temples, and while there was a lot of mini temples and mini dungeons and all that stuff, a lot of people didn't like that you were only a child throughout the whole game and you had no opportunity to control adult Link. And I don't know, I mean, it's just one of those things, either you liked it or you didn't. I thought it was a great game, and I am going to most likely be doing it on my channel at some point. Of course, that's not going to be next because I like to mix things up a little bit. That's why I didn't do Banjo-Tooie right away. And I'll probably be going into either a Mario game or a Metroid game next, because those are two of the series that I would love to do that I have not done yet. I will be doing something along the lines of a Donkey Kong game, maybe Donkey Kong 64, maybe Donkey Kong Country, but I think I'm going to wait on that. I think Mario and Metroid are a little bit higher priority next, so I have a lot to choose from. As far as Mario goes, I plan on doing eventually Mario 64, Super Mario 64 that is, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, but if I were to do one, 1 would be first, obviously, and then also Super Mario Sunshine. As far as the Metroid games go, I will be doing, at the very least, Metroid Prime 1 on my channel. I'm just not sure exactly when I want to do that. I also am going to be doing Metroid Other M on my channel, but again, the order of this stuff is something that I have not decided on yet, so I'm going to decide on that soon, because obviously we're done with Ocarina of Time, and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness only has maybe 15 episodes left before the final boss, and then there's some epilogue stuff, but then that game will be over as well. Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon Stadium are also upcoming on the channel. I also will be putting a little bit more effort into Pokemon White, which is on my channel right now, that I've kind of really put on the back burner for these two games that I've been doing now, but I'm going to have a little push with that game, considering that it's been kind of lingering for a while and I've been really slow with uploading those videos. So, as far as what game is going to come next, I pretty much laid out the options that I've been thinking about. Feel free to email us what game you want to see, or if you have certain opinions. If I get an overwhelming response for a particular game, I will do that first. But most of the games that I want to do are already set, so that is that. Okay, well, I pretty much talked away the credits here. And it's kind of sad to know that this game is pretty much over, but anyway, this is going to be the ending scene here, and we're back in the Temple of Time, returning to our original time as a child, and we're going to be obviously leaving the Master Sword on the pedestal, and the door that leads between the times is going to be shut, so we will have no opportunity to return as an adult as per the story. Now, as far as this game ending, if you want to restart your game and everything, you're going to have to restart it from your last save point, because the game will freeze at the end, and you will not be able to, just go back to the start screen. And yeah, that just doesn't happen. So it'll go back to before you defeat it again, and if you wanted to collect the golden Skulltulas and all that stuff. Presented by Nintendo. And there you go. That is pretty much the end of the Ocarina of Time. And this is the one last final scene here. And you will recognize this place as the courtyard where we first met Princess Zelda. There she is, spying into the king's throne room again. But we found our way back to her. So I guess we didn't say goodbye after all. And in a dramatic scene here, Link and Zelda are reunited, and the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time comes to a close. A very dramatic close. And so ends, again, one of the best games of all time, and in my opinion, by far the best Legend of Zelda game. And also the best Nintendo 64 game, which is saying something, because the Nintendo 64 has an awesome lineup. But that's a story for another day. I want to thank everybody for watching, everybody who's been supporting me. We're actually closing in on 500,000 total views on the channel, so that part is awesome. I'll be doing some kind of like special thank you thing coming up in the following weeks for that. But that's going to be it for The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time for our next game. Game on.